Alright, well, a good place to pick up on the video. You can see I've kind of got one side of this strut tower welded in. Cut out some cardboard template pieces and kind of mocked up how I wanted it yesterday, and cut some 14 gauge sheet metal to weld it in solid, completely reinforce that tower. Welded up the little holes in all the little mountain holes. I'm done with the engine bay from the latch over one side. See, I left a gap right there. It's not gonna be an issue. May do some like ducts. I thought about coming through here with some duct work, plumbing it in for some knocker ducts. Since the last video, you can see I welded those ears on the tower mounts that I was talking about, and got those control arms bolted in. What you really can't see up under that sheet metal is I took a piece of flat bar, like 3/16 inch and a half flat bar, and come off here to here to triangulate that forward momentum for like hard braking that the strut tower can endure. Took a piece of flat bar and come off this corner, real short piece, straight back this direction. Kind of kept it up underneath that, right through here, short and sweet, because I don't want to get into all this mechanics under the hood. I think that'll be plenty of bracing. So like I said, I angled it off here, angled it off all the way to the front to the radiator support, and then completely boxed that in, welding the 14 gauge to the flat plates. So it's all reinforced real well. Should be super strong, way stronger than the suspension components themselves. So slowly but surely got that square tubing welded to the rails. Got the bolts going through them. Like I said, I'm gonna cut off some of this extra material here from the subframe brace, and plate a lot of that dead space in, just to reinforce it, and really just to make it more sturdy. It's not going to be a visual component of this down here. It's just going to be functional. I don't love the ground clearance from that subframe. I wanted to keep that brace level, and the way it's mounted should be the factory geometry on the lower control arm as the 350 had, but it's no lower. This point's no lower than the subframe, so that's not necessarily an issue. It's just it hangs down lower than the 240 subframe would. But race car, I'll keep y'all updated. I'm gonna do an update video. Not sure where we talked about the drivetrain on the last one, but I've decided to ditch the VQ 35 HR. Supposed to be a good engine, but with the money and time spent on going through and getting it freshened up, and I just think it's going to be really kind of puny, considering how beefy the car is going to be, the suspension, the stance. And you can see in the big flares, it's going to call for a bit more power for what I'm going to do with it. So just short of spending all the money on the forged internals and a turbo on the HR, I think LS is just going to be the way to go. It's tried and true. So you can see I got that one side of the strut tower fabbed in. this side, I just took a break from the front, basically. Started welding up all the holes in the engine bay and got about halfway through. Got the driver's or the passenger side done. Picked up a little 5.3 truck engine. Got the sloppy stage 2 cam. You know, I think it's just going to be more powerful. I'm going to get the ISR kit to bolt it to the CD009. Just be, I think it'll just be the right call for this car. So, alright, you can see how beefy that subframe is going to be up under there. Needs the diff bushings replaced. I'm going to leave these rubber subframe bushings right now for drivability. We'll see. May need some solid bushings replaced later. Biggest complaint I've got so far, just looking at the back, is I'm going to lose the storage compartments from the factory. I've got this pan cut out up to that cross member, but I'm gonna have to cut out, because the way the front bolts there go in that subframe, I'm gonna just basically have to lose the way those storage compartments come down the floor pans. So I'm gonna have to cut all that out and make that a flat deck right there, and kind of give, that's where that front bolts are going to both land on the cradle. Looking at it from this angle, the way the unibody rail comes down right through here, it's basically going to have to be straight and a little bit, you know, we'll gusset it or whatever, but it's going to have to come up a lot more flat in this area and square off right here. So the unibody rail is going to have to be reinforced, but this angle here basically is hacked out and kind of put a 90 in right here. I'm thinking, I don't know, I'm thinking about tying a roll bar in just for rigidity of the car. You know, plan on doing some drifting and maybe some autocross. So if you guys got some opinions on that, let me know. But that's how the back is going so far. I know I'm probably gonna catch some crap over the LS engine bay, or the LS in the engine bay, but hey girl, say hi. But you know, I think the cam kit, some cleaned up heads, you know, get close to 400 horsepower. It's gonna be a lot more achievable with that that V8 versus the V6. So I thought I had a good 5.3 here, but it sat outside and got rusted. So maybe do a iron LS1 for a backup engine. You know, throw some LS1 pistons, bore it out a little bit. We'll see. It's another 260Z, just it's a customer's car. It's a lot more solid than mine, but done some sheet metal replacement. Just a little bit of patchwork here and there in the car, but overall it's really solid. It's going to be a pretty nice little restoration. He's even going back with the chrome moldings, L28 fuel injected for it. But we got all the metal work done the other day and welded up, and it's going to be a nice little car to drive around. So alright guys, that's how it's going. I'm gonna get these heads to the machine shop this week and get some 600 lift springs installed, all that stuff cleaned up, and the engine cleaned up. I've got the pan on the way from ISR to bolt it into the 350 subframe, and the shifter relocation, the ISR kit, all that's on the way. So well, I appreciate it, and I'll just stay tuned for the journey I'm on.